It's your favorite super duper mother daughter duo coming to you with all the positive vibes and helping you become exactly who you want to be. We're giving out all the good stuff on this podcast, and it's your host Tekoa and Sarah. So grab your mug because it's time for tea. Hey everyone, it's time for tea. I'm Tekoa.
And I'm the Sarah.
And today we're going to be talking about authenticity. All right. I like that. Big word, all of them syllables, authenticity. So I'm going to go into the definition of what it means to be authentic because that is like the base word of authenticity. So to be authentic is not false or copied, genuine, real, and representing one's true nature or belief, true to your own personality, values, and spirit, regardless of pressure you're experiencing to act otherwise. That is what it means to be authentic.
Okay.
And also I read something and it was like authenticity is like the simplest definition is the real you I see.
Mm-hmm. The
So,
real you I see.
yeah, if you're authentic, then I'm seeing the real you.
Mm.
Okay. And I just wanted to note that in today's day and age, authenticity is such a big thing because a lot of people conform. I don't know if you heard of sheeple, calling people sheeple. Have you heard of that?
No. Mm-mm.
It's because people are like sheep. If one sheep does something, the other sheep will kind of follow and do the same thing. And that's how people are in a way because we conform. And especially
Mm-hmm.
with social media, you can see what people are doing all over the world at any given time. And you're like, oh, that's cool. I want to do that too. I want to be cool too. I want to wear that too. I want to,
Mm-hmm.
we conform and we turn into sheeple.
I never heard of that. That's nice to know. And yeah, I think that I believe that we do. Everybody wants to feel important. Everybody wants to be acknowledged. And that's how we get to be inauthentic because we rather be like everybody else rather than being who we truly are.
Right, we conform. And it's so there are some situations where conformity is necessary.
Like
You know,
what?
when you go to work, we all have to wear the same thing. We all have to arrive at a certain time. We all have
Mm-hmm.
to do our jobs. Blah, blah, blah. You're basically conforming.
Okay.
And the idea of sheeple comes from the society where everyone's expected to do this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you were in Egypt and you were a lower class and you were expected to work on the pyramids from daybreak to dawn, to
Mm-hmm.
nighttime. So it was everybody was doing the same thing. So yeah, sometimes it's we kind of have to conform in a way. If you're living that type of lifestyle, I'm anti-conformity 100%.
Correct. 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 Correct.
Yeah, if it doesn't sit well with me, I'm not doing it. So, but there are ways in time frames where you do kind of have to be inauthentic, unfortunately. Like even if you know how sometimes you might not like somebody, but
Mm-hmm.
you still have to be cordial with that person.
Correct.
Be authentic, you might want to be like, you know, ugh, I don't like you. But you can't do that. It's not acceptable in society. It's not right. It's not compassionate. So then you have to be inauthentic in some situations.
And yeah, I know I struggle with that because when I do have to surrender to being kind, it does bother my authentic self because I could feel that tug of war within
Yeah.
me, like you're not real. So, but so you're bordering between being inauthentic and having to be polite and just having respect or for other people,
Yes, yes. So
despite
it,
of your feelings. So,
glad you touched on that because that explains like a lot of times we're inauthentic because we're putting the feelings of others before ourselves.
which it's that's a hard thing. I mean, I'm going to be truthful. That's very hard because it's a tug of war between you not being true and I don't think that It's hard. It's hard because I've been there, not liking someone for whatever reasons, and I have to be less than who I am just to be the nice one, just to be the adult,
The bigger person.
the bigger person. And it is a tug of war, because your true self is saying, you just don't want to be around. You just don't want to be, not that you don't want to say anything, but you just rather not be in that same room or in that same area with someone you don't like, because you really can't be truly you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I
Yeah,
totally
that's a
get
hard one, guys. And I have no answer. Just stick it up, suck it up, and just,
Well,
you know.
I seen a post on social media, and it was like, if you have to constantly belittle yourself, or if you have to constantly be the bigger person so that others can feel comfortable, then stop hanging around with small people. And I was like, ooh.
Yeah. And actually, that's why I'm like, I don't know if people want to hear, because I actually do avoid being in certain situations, because if I don't like you, I just rather not be there. So I'd rather be absent, you know, as much as I can.
And you see, touching on that is so funny because like people will invite me places, and if I don't want to go, I'll just be like, "Oh, I have to do such and such." But I should be able to just be authentic and say, "I don't want to go. I don't want to
Hmm.
do that. I don't want to hang with you." I don't,
Yeah. Yeah.
it doesn't fit my character or things of that nature. But we don't, because we do put other people's feelings, kind of before ourselves sometimes. We don't want to hurt feelings, we don't want to break bridges, and
That
that's
goes against our authentic self.
yeah,
So it's a very, it's
struggle.
yes, you want to be authentic, but um you're going to be stepping on people's toes to be, and I guess we have to get to the point of it's okay to step on people's toes, especially if we're trying to be true to ourselves. Just it's anyway.
Forget your feelings. I'm
So
down for the cause. It's how many people? 7 billion people in the world. I could hurt 100,000 feelings and still be
it'd be
okay.
okay.
1,000, 100,000 of feelings and still be fine.
So I have a question for you. When did you discover your true authentic self?
Oh, honey, I'm still it's a process.
Hmm.
I don't even know I learn about myself every single day because I
Hmm.
choose to. I choose to take steps back and become self-aware and sit down and meditate on what set right with me in a situation, what didn't sit right, and why.
And why?
Yep, and why. Who
Hmm.
am I okay with being? Who do I want to be? Like, I'm constantly evolving, I'm constantly changing. But authenticity became a true thing for me when I was doing, probably when I started life coaching, maybe a little bit before that. It was like sitting in my heart. Like, I'm doing a lot of things that I don't necessarily feel good doing.
Hmm.
I'm
Hmm.
kind of just trying to survival mode. I'm in
Hmm.
survival mode, and I'm only doing that because it's what everybody else is doing.
Yep.
We have to
That
make
that rat
money.
race.
Yes, we have to make money. We have to be busy. We have to be doing this. We have to be doing that. You have to be doing
Hmm.
something or you're a failure. So I conform to that idea, and I was just doing things. And none of these things were true to who I really was.
Hmm.
So I had developed the idea that maybe I had commitment issues because I was quitting things and hopping from one thing to the next and this, that, and third. And one of my friends set me down and she was like, I don't think you have commitment issues. I think you do something until it no longer aligns with you. And when you learn that it doesn't align with you, you move on. And I was like, genius.
Like you have that aha, that awakening.
What? So one of the ways that I start to find and develop my authentic self is by trying things. Is
Hmm.
by journeying into the world, getting adventurous and trying new things. And I learn about myself, and I never forget those things that I learned. I keep them with me and I develop as I go. So
Hmm.
one of the best things was trying new things,
Hmm.
getting out there, doing things differently, going and following my random ideas that I have. Like you seen, I did TikTok skits. I want to do movies. I want to be in production. And that's just something that I have in my heart. I love singing. I
Hmm.
love doing music. That's something in my heart. I love sports. I love being active. So I went and bought a skateboard. So yeah, it's like these random things. You're 30 years old buying skateboards, but yeah, because it's something I've always wanted to do, and that's
Mm-hmm.
inside of me. And no matter what society says, I'm going to pursue that and
Yeah.
see where it goes.
And
Even if it just goes to, haha, this is so much fun, you know, that's what I'm doing. So that is how I align myself with being authentic. I kind of just
mhm.
tried things and failed and didn't say, I have to stick with this. Oh my gosh, I'm a failure. I said, oh, didn't like it. Okay, moving on.
Correct, 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 correct. And I
Yep.
know with me, one of my coworkers, and it just was, I think we were just talking about 7, 8 years ago, um, had given me a word and I didn't even know it was a scripture. That's how crazy it was. And, one of the things you all hear us on the podcast say is, to thy own self be true. Well, Scott told me that. And that thing was an awakening. Like that thing resonated in my spirit on being authentic, but to that own self be true. And it was like, be true to you, who you really are, and not what everybody else expects us to be. We go around the world wearing masks for everyone else, and then we go home, we're so sad and alone and discouraged because we've put this facade on for everybody else during our day, that when we get home, we're truly taking that mask on, and with fear and concern, like if they see me, they won't love me. If they know who I really am, I will be shunned from my peers, my family. But you're almost living this unreal double life, and it's so sad because I'm now trying to walk into my true self, into my true authentic self of, yay, I don't like this. No, and being more bolder in saying, I don't want to be over here with this group of people, or I don't want that, or speaking my mind on things that I'm adamant about, when I'm, trying to defend, when I was working in healthcare, my patients and different things, and standing firm for what I believe in, despite of who likes or do not like me. So is you sort of you're learning you, like
Yeah.
you said, you're learning you. And it's a process, but when you go against who you really are, you can feel that inner struggle with yourself, and you're so disappointed with you, because it's like, that's not what I wanted. I didn't want to hang out with so and so. I didn't want to go to dinner with so and so. I didn't want to, and it's like it's such a sad state, because we're really not standing for our true self. And we do a lot of that because we're trying to pacify people. And the sad part is we pacify them and disappoint us.
And imagine
So
what
at the end, we lose.
imagine what that does to your subconscious.
Woo!
If something inside of you is wanting to come out, but yet you keep suppressing it and saying,
Mm-hmm.
no, we can't, because what are people going to think about us?
Yeah. Yeah.
That really intercedes with your self-love, your
Mm-hmm.
self-confidence,
Mm-hmm.
because now you think that all the things that you really are aren't good enough for the world. You
Mm-hmm.
consider the fact that maybe everything that you really, really want to do is weird and won't be looked at in a positive light. And so because we're taking what's inward and thinking about what outwardly will feel,
Mm-hmm.
we're losing ourselves.
We're losing ourselves.
Yes.
You're right. We truly are. And
Mhm.
that's a shame, because we're really not being our authentic self. And what I learned through life journey from young on up is, no matter how much we please people, they will never be happy. No matter how much we try to pacify others, they will never be happy. They will want you to be something more. As soon as you accomplish that, they're like, okay, and more. So it's truly being okay and learning and accepting and forgiving us, and saying, it's okay to say no. It's okay to not want to be around this person. It's okay to speak up or not speak up. It's okay to be, an introvert, and it's okay to be an extrovert. It's just okay to be who you truly are and embrace that thing, and not truly try to worry about what other people think, because everybody's going to still have something to say, good or bad.
Mhm. And another interesting fact to note is that a lot of people, they aren't authentic with themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine a world where everyone opened up and decided to be their authentic, true self.
Yes.
I couldn't even imagine the creativity, the way we would thrive as a nation, the
I
individuality that would pop up, the freedom of
mm-hmm.
speech and desires, the freedom to dream and pursue whatever you wanted to pursue. It would actually be a wonderful, wonderful place.
And I think that with that, just to pick with if we were to be our true self, I think we would be less, there would be less depression,
Less anxiety.
less anxiety, because all of that comes with worrying. So I think it would be less if we were able to truly be who we are, whatever it is,
And I think
with no judgment.
people would be more, that's what I say, people would be more accepting, because the
Yes,
reason why we have judgment, why we're not accepting, is because in our mind, somehow, somewhere, we have this idea of what a perfect person should be. Of
unrealistic idea.
yes, of what an ideal citizen in our society is and should,
Yeah,
what's acceptable to us and what's not acceptable to us, how
true.
you should feel, how you should dress, how you should look, how you should talk. We're putting these ideals onto everyone else in society around us of what we personally, individually think is good and what is
Hmm.
right. And that
Hmm.
is like so wrong and crazy. And the government does it at an even larger scale, of what's acceptable and what's not.
And media does it too.
Media does it as well, brainwashing us. Social
Hmm.
media does it. School system does it. So all our lives we're being pushed into being these sheeple and conforming to these ideals and these ways of living that doesn't really align with us. Like in school, they give you classes for creativity, but they don't really push creativity, individuality.
Correct.
They don't push individuality. Everyone has to walk in line. Everyone has to do this. Now we all have to wear school uniforms. Now we have to, eat this at lunch. It's not really a lot of room for you to shift and shake and do what feels right to you. You really can't even find what feels right to you.
Hmm. Oh, or when you do, you get told that's not right.
Yes, don't do that. You get told that at a young
Hmm.
age. You
You
get
get
told that in
disciplined
your
and
house. With your friend circles, they might tell you, "Hey, we're not doing that. Whatever you doing, that's different."
correct.
And it's unfortunate. Can you
And
give
it's
us some
sad.
of the benefits of authenticity? Let's hear the benefits of what it feels like and what's good for us when we're authentic.
Okay, so some of the benefits is trust and respect. When you are true to yourself, you trust the judgment and decisions you make, and others will trust you also. So when you start walking in your true self, then you'll start trusting and respecting yourself, and you'll start building that confidence, and other people will start seeing that in you and trusting you. Integrity, one of the most important things. Integrity is one of the benefits of being your authentic self. Doing the right thing no matter who is around, just doing the right thing when no one's looking. The third one is the ability to deal with problems. You have a wait, you have the strength and the openness to deal with problems quickly when you're authentic, because you're not worried about who's going to say what or what somebody's thinking about. You're going to say what's right and stand for right, despite of everything around you or who's going to criticize you. Realizing your potential. You can realize your full potential in life instead of allowing someone to control your life. So realizing your potential. Number five, confidence and self-esteem. You gain higher self-confidence and self-esteem, greater optimism, and more life satisfaction when you are authentic. And we were just talked about this. The sixth one is you're less stress. Being authentic to yourself is far less stressful than being someone you are not. So those are the six things, and you're aware of that. If you're more confident and feel good about yourself, you're less stressed because you're being true to yourself and not bending.
All right, sounds good. And I'll go into a little bit about exercise I do with my clients. So there's something called core values, and I was extremely shocked when I found out that a lot of people did not know what core values were or are. And they're extremely important because core values set your foundation for who you are, what
Mm-hmm.
aligns with you, what's important to you, what really, really matters over everything else, what are your can't live withouts in life. So we go over our core values and we find out who we are and what we stand for. And if you're not sure what it is, definitely do some research and look it up. I might do a separate YouTube video explaining what core values is to try and get people to find out what aligns with them. But that is definitely something that's important, is finding out
Very
what you
important.
value. Yeah, and because you might be like, how do I even know what my authentic self is?
And
And
that is your true authentic self, is your core value, is your
yeah,
core.
it aligns with your core. It's your core of who you are. It's
Yeah.
whatever your subconscious is telling you.
Mm-hmm.
Those, and that's another thing. A lot of clients, they hold back goals. Oh, I wanted to write a book for years. Okay, well, that is something that's your authentic self. That is something
Mm-hmm.
that you are authentically trying to do on the inside, but you just can't bring it into fruition on the outside for whatever reason. But that is something that aligns with who you really are, because if you
Mm-hmm.
keep saying, I really want to write this book, I really want to write this book, then that is something that's true to you.
Yeah. That's your true authentic self.
Yep, and you'll continually suppress it until you get it out and put it out in the atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to work on things that align with your authentic self, things that feel good and authentic to you, that really, really, no one put it in you, no one's making you do anything, no one's, what is it when people they give like feedback and it kind of moves you, like no one's swaying you
Mm-hmm.
in one way or the other to do this thing. It's just you just really, really want to do it. It's just been in you for a while. That is authenticity at its finest.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to get into how can you apply yourself and become authentic.
Okay.
Like I said, that's literally the first one, is identify your values.
Correct. The most important, the first.
Yep, find your values, find what aligns with you. The next thing is, who do you want to be? I know we hear fake it till you make it. I'm a strong believer in fake it till you make it, but show up as that person that you desire to be every day, and eventually you will wake up and you will just be that person.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's, whatever you want to be. If you want to be a NASCAR driver, get in your car and think, what do I do if I'm a NASCAR driver? What are the steps I need to take to become a NASCAR driver? Start to put into effect the things that you need to do. Those short goals, those little changes will one day evolve into the big change that you need to make that come into reality.
Mm-hmm.
So the next
Correct.
thing is live with integrity. Like you said, so important. If somebody is yelling and screaming at you and you really just want to say, hey, you know what, this isn't good for me, I'm leaving, then live with integrity. Just be true to yourself. To that own self, be true. Because if you're not, it'll eat you up on the inside. And like I said, what does that feel like for you on the inside? Hey, I really wanted to speak up, but I didn't because I was scared of what other people would say. It makes you feel like your feelings aren't invalid because you're
Correct.
suppressing yourself for the everybody else, for likes, for friends, for understanding, for a group. So start putting yourself first and putting your desires over everyone else's. The next thing is communicate honestly, which goes into what I just said. It goes with integrity, being honest with yourself and with others. It's so important to telling yourself that we are important, we are valuable, we have what we need, our emotions are aligned, we're not crazy, we know what we want to do. And when you start to communicate with yourself and with others honestly, it makes a big difference. It changes who you are.
Correct.
The next one is don't make assumptions. So don't assume that other people are out to get you, that other people are, doing things negatively. Make sure you do your research. Make sure you come from everything from a stable ground, a sound mind, and you make the right decisions. Next one is develop self confidence. So, self confidence, I would say, is one of the most important things in the whole entire world. Right behind getting to know your core values. Know your core values, know who you are, and then love that person no matter what, because people will make you feel as though you're less than, you're
Correct.
insignificant, you're not good, you don't know what you're talking about, you're crazy. But if you have the self-confidence to say, this is my truth and I'm showing up with it day after day after day, then that is how you make change. That is how you become your authentic self. That is how you move in a direction. That is on right on your values. That's the next foundation up, the strongest foundation that will not crumble as long as you continue to believe in yourself and be true. And that ties in with integrity as well.
Amen. Amen. Stand, put your head up and walk straight. Just,
Yep,
yes, I
head
like
held
that.
high. And the next one is manage your emotions. I say, what is it? Low intelligence, high emotions is chaotic, and we don't want to live in a chaotic environment. We want to
Mm-hmm.
have high intelligence, low emotions. So understand how you're feeling, process it, know for what it is, know that how you're feeling is true and valid, and then decide from there. Okay, now what? Now what do I
Mm-hmm.
need to do? I've been at this job for a few years. I'm not feeling appreciated. I'm feeling undervalued. Now what do I need to do? Is there a
Mm-hmm.
manager I can talk to see if I can get a raise, to see if my workload can shift? What is it that I need to do? Do I need to reposition myself into another career choice? What is it that I need to do? Okay. So manage your emotions and come at it from a high intelligence perspective. What's
And
next?
think before you react.
So important. Think, think, think. Do not be that volcano. I do not like emotional volcanoes. I don't. I will take an emotional river that just kind of flows and flows and flows rather than an emotional volcano that erupts and then boom, everyone's covered in the ashes and the lava.
Mm-hmm.
At least in a river, I could swim and grab onto something and keep my head up. But if you're an emotional volcano and you just wreak havoc on the world whenever you're going through something, I can't. I can't deal with that.
Correct.
Okay. So that is how you become authentic. Those are just some of the things that you can do to apply yourself and work towards authenticity. Like I said, I feel as though the world is going to shift and authenticity will become so important. We live in a day and age where we have social media challenges and like thousands of people are all doing the same thing at any given time. And I feel like there will be a shift when we will fall in love again with individuality,
Mm-hmm.
cast our
Amen.
judgments aside and appreciate everyone for who they are,
For
and
their truth.
bring to the table. Yes, for their truth. So we'll stop trying to be like everyone else and we'll start to align and find our true selves.
Yes. That's good. That's a good, yes.
Yeah. So I definitely feel like that shift is happening.
And
Anything
it's
else?
important for us, it's important for all of us to
Yep, the
walk
future
in our
generation.
true, authentic self
Hmm.
and not be fake and not settle. I think we'll be happier and we'll live longer, and you'll see a lot of our stress and anxiety and depression and worries sort of fall a little bit more because we'll be more confident within ourselves because we have a voice and our voice is to be heard. And we have to stand for something, and we need to stand for ourselves and what we believe in, which is ourselves.
Yeah, and I'm glad you touched on not settling because that was also a key pivotal moment in my journey to becoming authentic was to stop settling, stop
Yeah.
saying not right now, maybe I could later, and start saying if I want that, I'm going to get it.
Mm-hmm.
And when I did start to attain the things that I absolutely wanted for myself, it made me feel good. It said,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I can do this. This is possible. I don't have to get secondhand things. I don't have to get hand me downs. I don't have to get the lesser of what I really wanted.
And you deserve it. Not
And
just
I
can I, and
deserve it.
you deserve it.
Absolutely. I deserve it. And to walk into what you deserve, what you know you deserve,
What you
and
know?
claim it for yourself is a power all within itself. It's an
Correct.
authentic power all within itself. So whatever it is that you visualize for yourself in the world, go out and grab it and hold
Do it.
it tight. No matter what people say, if it is for you, then hold it tight. And what's meant for you will be for you. But you have to get up and get it. You have to claim it as
Mhm.
being yours.
Yep.
Yeah. So that is our episode on authenticity. I believe we're coming up on about 30 minutes, more or less. You got something else to say?
No, I'm just want to tell you all, I'm just proud of you all. Live your true self. It makes you feel better if you go to sleep at night feeling better. And just walk in that thing, work that thing, apply that thing, and start walking in your trueness.
Yep. And I will say that when you become a friend with authenticity, it's not going to look like anyone else.
Yep.
It's scary because it's just like this is something totally different that hasn't been done. Untrekked land, right? But it's beautiful because it's genuinely you. It's
It's
original.
me.
It's
Correct.
yeah. So walk
OG.
authenticity and love it. Yes, yes. Walk in it and love it. It's not copied. It's so real. It's so real and authentic. And people will love you for that.
Mm-hmm.
We feel as though I can't be the real me because people are going to be like, what is wrong with this lady or this man? But people will genuinely love you. The ones who are meant to, the ones who are hiding as well within themselves and suppressing that real them, they'll notice the authenticity coming out from you, the rays of sunshine automatically just shining
Mm-hmm.
from you, and they'll be attracted to that light. They'll love it. And you'll
And
have the people in your circle and around you who are supposed to be there. You will attract the real friends. So once you become real, you attract real.
amen. And that's what you want.
And that's what you want. Yeah, that's what you want. Shed
That's
off
what you
those
truly
layers
want.
of everything else and become the real you. Walk in it, love it, feel it, sleep in it, wake up to it. The
Mm-hmm.
real you. All right, babes. I love you all. I love you all. I'm excited for all the authentic people coming out into the world. I'm excited. What's that? I'm coming out. I
I
want the
want the
world to
world to
know.
know.
Got to
Got to
let
let
it
it
show.
show.
Yeah, so we're gonna have a lot of people coming out, and I am looking forward to it. Share in the comments below something you learned about authenticity, how you're coming up to be your authentic self. If you learned about your core values and what really aligns with you versus what you were doing before, share that so we can know and we can see your growth and we can appreciate it and love on you. All right, you guys, thank you for joining us for tea. Until next time, bye.
Bye.
That's a wrap of today's episode. And once again, this is the podcast, Time for Tea, where we are teaching, empowering, and applying and giving out weekly doses of some good stuff for your spirit. Hope you enjoyed today's episode, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Same time, same place. Bye.